Ever wondered how many people are actually afraid of flying? Well, according to a recent study, you're definitely not alone if planes make you nervous. Would you believe that 1 in 3 Americans admit they're scared of flying? And with recent aviation incidents making headlines, it's completely understandable if you're feeling extra anxious about getting on a plane. What's crazy is that almost 35% of people need medication or alcohol just to handle their pre-flight nerves. Some think there's a 34% chance their plane might crash, when in reality, it's actually 1 in 11 million. That's like winning the lottery 4 times in a row, backwards, while doing a handstand. Today's video isn't just about throwing statistics at you though. Whether you're from Florida, which, fun fact, turns out to be the state with the highest flying anxiety, or New Mexico, where they're apparently cool as cucumbers about flying, I'm going to share some practical tips that actually work to make your next flight more comfortable. The truth is, when nearly 60% of people who've never flown are avoiding trips because of this fear, it's time we tackle this head on. So grab your favorite travel pillow, maybe a notepad, and let's get you ready for takeoff. Before we do, over 99% of you are not subscribed. Do us a favor and smash that subscribe button, would you? Don't be afraid, we won't crash. Alright, let's dive into our first set of tips, which are all about what you can do before you even step foot on that plane. Because trust me, a calm flight starts with smart preparation. Tip 1. Arrive early, like really early. Listen, I know running through the airport like you're in Home Alone might make for great movie scenes, but it's terrible for anxiety. Give yourself at least 2 hours for domestic flights and 3 for international. Why? Because racing through security with sweaty palms and checking your watch every 2 seconds is nobody's idea of a good time. Here's what the extra time actually gives you. A chance to check in without stress. Time to grab a meal or coffee. The opportunity to get familiar with your surroundings. And most importantly, a moment just to breathe. Tip number 2, choose your seat wisely. This isn't just about legroom, people. If turbulence makes you nervous, book a seat over the wings. It's like the belly button of the plane, where you'll feel the least movement. Avoid the back of the plane unless you enjoy feeling like you're on a boat in choppy waters. Tip number 3, download your comfort zone. Don't count on airline Wi-Fi to save you. It's about as reliable as weather forecasts. Download your favorite movies. Maybe skip Air Force One or Flight. Just saying. Download your favorite podcasts, music playlists, meditation apps, or even some addictive games. The goal here is to create your own little bubble of comfort at 35,000 feet. When it comes to calming those pre-flight jitters, your mind is both your worst enemy and your greatest ally. Let's talk about something that might sound ridiculously simple, but is incredibly powerful. Breathing. I'm not talking about your normal everyday breathing. I'm talking about deliberate, deep breathing that actually triggers your body's relaxation response. Try this. Breathe in slowly for a count of 4. Hold it for 4. Then exhale for 4. Do this a few times when you feel that anxiety creeping up, and you'll be amazed at how your body starts to calm down. Now, let's address the elephant in the cabin. Those pesky thoughts that love to spiral out of control. You know the ones I'm talking about. What was that noise? Is that wing supposed to move like that? Did the pilot sound worried? Here's where we need to get real with ourselves. Your brain is designed to protect you, which means it's really good at coming up with the worst case scenarios. But here's a fact that might help put things in perspective. You're more likely to be struck by lightning than be in a plane crash. In fact, flying is statistically the safest form of travel. But statistics alone don't always calm our nerves, do they? That's why we need to work on our self-talk. Instead of letting your mind run wild with what ifs, try replacing those thoughts with reality-based statements. When you feel turbulence, remind yourself, this is just air traffic, like bumps on a road. When you hear a strange noise, remember, planes are designed to make these sounds. It's all part of normal operation. It might feel silly at first, but consistently challenging those anxious thoughts with facts can make a huge difference in how you experience your flight. One of the most underutilized resources for nervous flyers is actually right there on the plane with you, your flight crew. These professionals aren't just there to serve drinks and demonstrate safety features. They're highly trained in passenger care, including helping anxious flyers. When you board the plane, don't hesitate to quietly mention to a flight attendant that you're a nervous flyer. They'll often check on you during the flight and can explain normal aircraft sounds and sensations that might otherwise trigger your anxiety. They've seen it all, and they're there to help. Let's talk about something that many people feel awkward discussing: medication. If your flight anxiety is severe, having a conversation with your healthcare provider about anti-anxiety medication might be worth considering. Some doctors can prescribe a mild sedative specifically for flying. This isn't about knocking yourself out. It's about taking the edge off so you can use the other coping strategies we've discussed. Just remember, if you do go this route, try any medication at home first to understand how it affects you, and never mix it with alcohol. There's also a fascinating modern tool that more airlines and mental health professionals are using: virtual reality exposure therapy. Some airports and flight schools offer programs where you can experience a realistic flight simulation in a controlled environment. It's like training wheels for flying. You get to experience the sensations, sounds, and procedures of a flight while having complete freedom to pause or stop it if it becomes overwhelming. This gradual exposure can help desensitize you to the aspects of flying that trigger your anxiety. Speaking of professional help, many airlines now offer fear of flying courses led by pilots, psychologists, or both. These programs can be incredibly effective because they combine technical knowledge about aviation with practical anxiety management techniques. They often include behind-the-scenes airport tours, cockpit visits, and detailed explanations of flight operations. Understanding the incredible amount of training, safety protocols, and technology that goes into every flight can help transform fear into fascination. For more about scoring cockpit tours and other free things you can get on a plane, check out this video. Let's get real about something. Being physically comfortable can make a massive difference in how you experience your flight. A lot of people focus so much on the mental aspect of flight anxiety that they completely overlook the physical side. Start with what you wear. Those Instagram-worthy travel outfits with tight jeans and fancy shoes? Save them for your destination photos. Instead, think layers and comfort. Your body temperature can fluctuate during flights, and being too hot or too cold will only add to your stress. Hydration is absolutely crucial, but here's the tricky part. You want to find the right balance. Drink enough water to stay hydrated, but not so much that you're making trips to those tiny airplane bathrooms every 30 minutes. And while it might be tempting to calm your nerves with a glass of wine or two at the airport bar, alcohol can actually make anxiety worse once you're in the air. It can also dehydrate you and mess with your sleep schedule, especially on longer flights. If you want something comforting to sip on, try chamomile tea or plain water with lemon. Motion sickness can amplify flight anxiety, or sometimes even be mistaken for it. If you're prone to feeling queasy, book a seat over the wing where the motion is least noticeable. The window seat can also help because seeing the horizon can help your brain make sense of the movement. Those little air vents above your seat aren't just for show. Keeping cool air flowing on your face can really help if you start feeling nauseous. And don't forget to pack some ginger candy or motion sickness tablets in your carry-on. Here's something that might surprise you. Your posture during the flight can significantly impact both your physical comfort and anxiety levels. When we're anxious, we tend to tense up, usually without even realizing it. This creates muscle tension, especially in your shoulders and neck, which can make you even more uncomfortable. Try this. Every hour or so, do a quick body scan. Are your shoulders up by your ears? Is your jaw clenched? Are you gripping the armrests like they're trying to escape? Just noticing these tension patterns and consciously relaxing them can make a huge difference in your comfort level. Now, let's talk about what to do when you're actually up in the air. The key is having multiple strategies ready, because what works in one moment might not work in another. My favorite tip is creating what I call a turbulence toolkit. It's very simple. You're going to engage your senses. Listen to calming music through noise-canceling headphones. Keep a small bottle of lavender essential oil to smell. Suck on hard candies for taste. And hold on to something soft like a cozy scarf or travel pillow. When turbulence hits, you'll have multiple ways to ground yourself and stay calm. Here's something pilots want you to know about turbulence. It's completely normal, and planes are built to handle it. Sure, it's uncomfortable, but it's not dangerous. When you feel the plane moving, remember that those wings are designed to flex and move. They can bend up to 90 degrees in tests without breaking. That movement you feel is actually the plane doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The pilots are also constantly working to find smoother air, so even if you hit a rough patch, they are already planning on how to avoid more turbulence. Let's address something that makes a lot of people anxious: those weird noises during flight. The landing gear folding up after takeoff, the changes in engine sound, the wing flaps moving. These all have perfectly normal explanations. Instead of letting these sounds spark anxiety, try turning them into a game. Every time you hear a new sound, remind yourself that it's just the plane doing its job. It's like listening to a well-orchestrated symphony. Every sound has its purpose and place in the performance. Building confidence with flying is a gradual process that starts with small, manageable steps like shorter flights over land, similar to how you wouldn't start learning to swim in the deep end. Track your progress by rating your anxiety levels from 1 to 10 at key moments, during check-in, takeoff, mid-flight, and landing. Over time, you'll notice your anxiety decreasing, and you'll be able to identify specific triggers, helping you know exactly when to employ your coping strategies. Remember, modern aviation has multiple backup systems, rigorous pilot training every 6 months, and advanced weather monitoring. Understanding these robust safety measures helps bridge the gap between perceived risk and the reality of just how safe flying actually is. Each successful flight, no matter how short, builds your confidence for longer journeys ahead. Flight anxiety is incredibly common, but it doesn't have to control your travel plans. Start with small steps, use the tools we've discussed, and be patient with yourself. The world is too beautiful to let fear keep you grounded. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss any of our travel tips. And hey, drop a comment below with your own flight anxiety tips. Let's help each other conquer those travel fears. Until next time, this is Kelly from The Vacation Agent, reminding you that the journey is just as important as the destination. Safe travels, everyone.